that. Good morning. Yay! It told me no one was there, but you are. Yes. Good morning. Thanks for turning up. God, this is. um, I've just, I've just had my whole life flash before me as I came in holding my coffee, heading towards the computer, and tripped, and somehow managed to trip and hold the coffee at the same time, and didn't spill a drop. And yeah, and then came straight and pressed live. So I'm like, whew. Just checking. Good morning, everybody. Yes, I'm sorry. Last week I was late and there were problems with, I don't know what it was. I think it was the computer being slow or something. But I set up the feed and then it kind of disappeared. So I just kept setting up feeds. And when I looked at it afterwards, I think I'd made about 4, and one of them was the true one. So maybe it was some horrible test for you. But I'm really sorry about that, especially ones who missed the beginning because they were sat going, when's she going to show up? So yeah, I fixed it this time. And I'm not quite as late. I'm 1 minute late. So got some cool showy off things for you today. Um, I've got still regaining myself from that tripathon. Whoo! There was the computer, and there's a load of painted minis that all would have been splashed because of my foolish tripathon. So yeah, that's cool. I didn't spill anything. So if you are new, this is Sunday morning coffee, number 44. I don't know what we'll do for 52, which will be probably like super soon. Obviously, I don't know how many weeks it is, but it will feel like super soon. Maybe we'll have a party. I might do something cool actually. I don't know why I whisper. Like, don't tell them. Maybe, yeah, make sure you come to 52. I'll do something cool where like you get stuff. I don't know. So yeah, every week it is 10 o'clock. I come along, I chat nonsense at you, apparently for half an hour, but it sometimes goes on to an hour. Or sometimes I'm there going, oh, what was 20 minutes? I've still got 10 minutes to talk about, which was a bit like last week. But it is non-scripted. It is generally no plans. It's just me rambling about stuff. Sometimes I have better plans, but yeah. I will go. So it's a bit of what's happened this week in Bad Squiddo, bit of Annie blog, especially now that I'm alone because of the isolation, and yeah, so bit of everything really. I got my coffee. I got some cool stuff to show. I've had some cool gifts. I've got a little unboxing, and I don't know what it is. Well, I know kind of what it is. One of you sent me something from America, so I thought that was kind of cool. There's a couple of questions already, so I'll address that before I get on with some other stuff because I know I missed them because of all the good mornings. So yeah, good morning, Dave says, what are your opinions on creating unofficial third-party miniatures for big games which are not your own? It's a weird one. I'd flat out say no. I don't like it. I like to make my own stuff, um, rather than sort of not leech, but when it's very clear, that the things are being made for a particular game or to replace another company's minis. It is that sort of reliant leeching. But I think there's a difference with, say, okay, I'll say it. So say if I made alternative Sisters of Battle models, I just feel like then I'm sort of relying. I don't know. If I was to make that, I'd feel like I was reliant on the actions of that other company, and also depending on how you make them. So there could be models that could be used for it, or they could be a bit knockoffy. Especially if you're the latter, then you're kind of just waiting for them to turn up and stop it. And it's not what I want to do. I want to just make cool stuff. But I would obviously be hypocritical if I just said, I make minis and that's it. Because I obviously promote that my minis are usable in other games. So the main ones being Saga, Test of Honor, and Bolt Action. So I quite often say my minis are really good for use for these. Sorry, that's a side comment. But it's kind of different. I'm not there. They're not existing purely for that. It's just they're the games right now that people are playing, and they tend to be games where there's not strict models. So, like Saga, for example, they've got their official models, but you can play with anything. And I tend to try and not do stuff that other people do as well. So it's not there like I'm duplicating existing miniatures and changing them a bit. So yeah, I'm going on a bit of a ramble there. I like it as a topic; it's a good one. Because I see sometimes what other people have made, and I think, ooh, that's a bit close to, ooh. So generally, I try to not step on anyone's toes. With the models that are good for other people's games, basically. I just try not to step on any toes. Make it so it complements rather than replaces stuff like that. So when I used to stock Frostgrave, I stocked the official miniatures and I stocked obviously my own stuff. It's quite a small range then, but I always say here's the official miniatures. They're awesome, and if you want to add to that, there's some of these too. So it's generally great to not um, pee anybody else off in the industry. But where it comes to that sort of alt GW stuff, I am nowhere near it, and I get quite a lot of people saying that I should pretty much every day. And yeah, I don't want to go near it. One, because they will sue the clap out of me. But also, it's just morally, it just feels like I'm not creating anything. I'm just bouncing off other people's creation and IP, and I want to make new things. Especially, I think making historical figures is a good way, not around it, but means I don't have to make games all the time because I don't want to. I just want to make the figures and make the figures. The games that you're playing have a better choice of figures. So with historical figures, you're not knocking into anyone's IP. You're just making figures that are historical, and then if they want to use them in those games, that's cool. So that's one of the reasons I really like making historical figures, as well as that just being in my interests. Yeah, no, sorry, I won't be making any not GW stuff. Yeah, no way. Also, I have quite a lot of friends at GW, and it'd be pretty awkward, and it'd just suck. So I'm like, hey, I'm just leeching off your popularity there. Yeah, so I'm just not a fan of it, and I see a lot of it, especially with renders floating around. And yeah, normally I don't really talk about it because I never like to sort of judge people. I love judging people. It's not officially. Yeah. I see a lot of renders sort of scrolling down Facebook and think, oh, yeah. So yeah, that's definitely not my thing. So sorry if you're looking for some like cool old Warhammer 40k stuff. It's not going to be here. We've got Frostgrave. Yeah, that was awesome for that sort of stuff. And a lot of the smaller games, smaller manufacturers, there's so much. It's just a different world. I met a couple of years ago. I was talking to one of the GW sculptors at Beer Fest, and he said when he because it's a good one. I'm just trying to think on my feet, and they suck. Um, there's like the GW world, and then the rest of the war games, and I forget how I used to be in just the GW world, and now I'm in Nottingham. There's a lot still of just GW world. So I was chatting to this dude, um, and he's sculptor or painter? Painter. He's a painter. Sorry. You bump into everybody at the beer fest. Yeah, so I was explaining what I do. So I said, yeah, I make miniatures, and he's like, well, what game do you make them for? Like, what is your game? So I don't have a game. So well, what do you do with the figures? Like, well, you use them with other games, you know. And he was like, and nobody sues you for that. I'm like, no, they're historical figures. Because stuff like GW is so in its IP, and that's what it is. Yeah, I find it funny that it's kind of like, no, it's okay. Nobody owns historical copyright. It's fine. Do as you wish with it. So yeah, that sort of smaller world is just way more chill, and I like being in that, even though it's smaller. And I get it. Like I see companies that do a lot of not models, or you can clearly tell what it's made to replace. And again, it's not my bag. It's totally not my bag. But I know that they sell a lot more of those than they do of original stuff, and that's what sucks. Because I know I've stopped talking to other companies that really want to branch out, build their own cool things, and then they release it and they get a few sales, and then they release something compatible with GW, and it goes crazy. So yeah, I kind of get that, but I like to have as much integrity as possible, and it's all about the adding more cool female minis. So yeah, thanks. Nobody's had a problem, so that's cool. I'm always really careful about how I say things as well. So yeah, not trample on people's toes too much. I try not to spam groups as well, whether they're official groups. but if you want to spam them for me. Yeah, and I chat to a lot of the people that make the games that I say, yeah, this stuff will work, and they're all cool about it. So yeah, that's cool. So it was a bit of a ramble, but it's an interesting topic and one that I don't normally sort of mention. So it's cool. What do we have to see? Yeah, I think other than GW, because they're so ingrained now and they're like they've been there for so long. Um, it's gaming seems to be getting very much away from that. Here are our rule set. Here are our figures. You must do this. I think as maybe as there's saturation, there's so many rules that people want you to play their games. So if the stricter they are, the less chance that people will buy them. Because sorry, I'm so bad at doing this. Oh, I forgot what I was saying now. Yeah, you want games are trying to be as accessible as possible, and especially with historical, it kind of would be ridiculous to say like, no, okay, we've brought this new Dark Age game out. It's cool. We have to use our Saxons, and people are like, I've got 1,000,000 Saxon figures, and they're gonna look pretty much the same. They're dudes in tunics and mail. But you go, nope, you have to use our Saxons. It doesn't quite work. Whereas when you've got your own whole IP, fantasy IP like GW, even like War Machine, that sort of stuff, then you can, because that's how it works. But even with new games that are trying to do that, I think it's hard because it makes the buy-in so much for people. But yeah, my full heart is with the historical minis. I do a little dabbling now and again of other bits. Because it's fun. Or my sculptor will just go, ta-da, I've made this. This is kind of where all the dwarves came from. Like I said before, that I had zero interest in dwarves. I just... I realised afterwards, I think it might be the lack of female minis, because dwarves, goblins, orcs have just never appealed to me. And yeah, my sculptor just went, I made this dwarf. Like, cool. Yeah, she's really good actually. She'll fit with the shield maidens. And then he's like, I've made another one. I'm like, okay. Okay, so we're doing dwarves, are we? Right, let's do some dwarves. And having no interest in them to absolutely loving them. It was purely the style, so the style in which he'd sculpted them and the quality and just things like their proportions and stuff. They were more realistic than that sort of comedy dwarf, I think. So I like being able to say with full honesty that my own dwarf range made me love dwarves from not having any interest before. So that's really cool. So yeah, a lot of the times when we go off on little fantasy tangents and stuff, it's actually the sculptor leading it. That's kind of cool because we've all got a bit of a freestyle, but it's nice. It's nice. We've got like a feedback of ideas, so that's really cool. Let's go skim back because I know there were loads of comments and I'll never... Oh, voice is going. I'll never be able to scroll back up. Whilst I'm doing a little scroll, can you like the post? Because that helps people see it. Yeah. Sorry, there's so many. So GW are a whole other monster, and it's partly because of their PLC-ness as well. They have to. I weirdly defend them so much because there's a lot of misunderstanding about them being the worst. They're PLC, which is not great, but that's just due to the size of the company. So a lot of the things they have to do is purely for the interest of the shareholders. So there's no way they can let anything slide because that totally it's this whole like law around protecting your IP. So sometimes when you think, oh, they've been a bit harsh on people, they legally have to. So yeah, they're totally different to us little bods. Even so, I guess in the UK the second down in size is Warlord, but the difference between Warlord and GW is enormous, and then difference between Warlord and the rest of us is enormous. There's quite steep steps, I think. Sorry, just checking what I got there. Thanks for doing the farm up. Yeah, I like working with companies basically. Dave's regretting this, asking this question that's taken 10 minutes. But yeah, I like it as a topic. yeah, I like working with companies rather than against them. So I chat to basically every company in the world ever to varying extents. So there's none of me going, hee hee, I'm going to sneak in and take these sales. It's always like, and also this. So yeah. Cool. So the rest of the stuffage. What has the week been? Yeah, we've got a bunch of people now. Hooray! So the general updates are that I was trying to get to the cool stuff first, but they're like, no, I need to get it in context. So it's actually been a terrible week. I've when I can't remember when I came back to life. It might have been Thursday. No, I didn't come back to life till Friday. Yeah. Yeah, I've had a really bad mental health week. My brain has not been good. And I'm feeling just this like floppy rubbishness. Um, so not much has got done, which has sucked. But yeah, I think it was Friday I came back to life, and I got a bit of a yeah. So I stayed late and packed a million orders, although not a million. Not that 80. That 80 is still my record, but I think I got through about 50 because I've got 50 left, so I must have done about 50. Oh, that's Kickstarters and catching up on orders as well. So there's the last chunk left. I've got a feeling I might not have enough metal, but I'm going to pack till I run out of some of the packs and then see what I need on top of that. But it's not tons. So yeah, the Kickstarters are nearly all done, which is ace, and it's so satisfying. And it's making me. I'm at the happy stage of the Kickstarter roller coaster, because when you get in the packing bit, you're like, oh, the money has been spent, and I've got to do all this work, and they're complicated because I've got to make sure I pick all the things correctly. So that's the like, but then I get the comments, so I don't see the comments people have put with the orders till I go to pack them, because I just go, yep, that seems correct, processing. So then I read them as I'm doing it, and there's loads of really nice comments. So that gives me like a wee. And there's been quite a lot arriving with people, so they post them up saying, "Oh, my Kickstarter's here," and that's like, yes. And I've seen people like being really happy about it. I get quite a lot of emails this week too saying it's arrived, they're the best thing ever, and it really makes a difference. So if ever you're really happy about something, let me know, because it totally makes my day. It's ace. So I've been at that sort of stage, because I'm at the stage where I go, why do I do Kickstarters? Let's not do a Kickstarter ever again. And then by the time it's finished, I'm like, so the next Kickstarter. I'm nearly at that stage, I think. Oh, sorry, Carlos, I missed you going there. Goodbye. Oh yeah, I haven't even a sip of my coffee yet on my GW monologue. I've got guinea pigs with spectacles and hats on. Oh, with a tie today. Thanks, my brain is awesome. It's a flower. Yeah, it's actually grown from my excellent brain. So yeah, it has been. I think I was a bit like this last week, but I wasn't good last week either. I think I'm okay today. Haven't discovered enough yet. Had a wicked day yesterday, so that gave me a little boost. But yeah, I am massively struggling at the moment, so I'm trying to not just say about how things suck, because that's not really what you want on a Sunday morning. But I like being honest as well. I also don't want to be like, everything is amazing, and then go and cry, because that would suck too. But yeah, I had a really good day yesterday. I had a day off. So I had the week has basically been me either, I can't remember if I had any days off, or I just go into the office and just sit there staring at the void and then go, oh, the postman's here, I don't have any post for him. So then I go on the phone, sorry, I haven't got any posts. So yeah, that's kind of been the week. So it's not been that great. But I've had in the back of my mind, there's me trying to get out, going, I've got loads of stuff to do. Come on, Robot Annie, work. So yeah, I did. Oh yeah, picked up at the end of the week, and I stayed late and got loads of stuff done. So that's excellent. So it's going to be really satisfying to get those Kickstarters either all out next week or out as much as possible with just a few people that I need to do. I think it's because when I do the ordering of the metal, I do it and then I add some on top. But then there's always them late backers, and I think there were quite not late backers. People late to fill the pledge manager in. I think there were more than I thought that filled in late. So I just need some more. It's a Kafkidson mug, Gary, if you'd like to purchase one. Yeah, it is definitely a dumpster fire out in the general world. It's not been a good week all round for humanity, I think, and I think that's rather than my own mental health problems. I think that's what's just been getting me down. Obviously, makes it a bit harder, but yeah, I just think the state of the world's got me a bit low. So I've been trying to not. It's weird, isn't it? So like I'm trying to not read the things, but I also want to know. So I don't know. So yeah, the general obviously I know there's people from all different countries watching, but yeah, the UK is a mess at the moment. Again, don't worry, I won't go too much into it, but yeah, it's pretty grim. So trying to sort that. Oh, was it Monday? Oh no, last week that. God, the day I really don't know. The time's going kind of strange. Yes, Ms. June may be based on somebody with the same kind of name. Here we go. One sec. I keep forgetting what I'm talking about. What was it? The week, yes. So obviously there's loads when you look at the newspapers or anything. There's loads of self-employed. Everyone's getting help. Self-employed people, the race. Look at all the help we're giving them. Yeah, so it's all very circumstantial. So of the people I've spoke to, it's a bit of like, say there's 4 options. One person might have been able to get this. One might have been able to get this. One can't get any. Um, there's loads of little loopholes that kind of screw people over. So I've managed to get a bit of money and the loan. And loans, obviously, they're not free money, so I've got to be very careful with that because that's future Annie and future Squiddo. So I've been really wanting to get. There's a grant that I am eligible for. I can't go into the details because we're fighting it at the moment. But I thought I was on track to get this grant that would be amazing, and yeah, I think we've been screwed. So I'm gonna. It's not just me; there's a few other companies in the same position. So we're lobbying. Lobbying is the word at the moment. But yeah, I don't want to say anything really publicly about it, and it's boring for you. But get a lot of when I mention I have a problem. What's really nice is loads of people try and help, but it's okay. You don't need to offer me advice and PMs and stuff because we know what we're doing and we're on it. But it's looking unlikely. So it's then trying to scrabble to find other funds. Because I lose a lot of money this year based on the shows that I can't attend and just the general madness of everything. And yeah, so it kind of sucks. The self-employed, there's like a payment you get, and it's 80% of your profits, which is insane. So it gives you 80% of the profits, and then they announced it as because to make it fairer, because self-employed people are rolling in it. They're putting it down to 70 in a bit as well, 70% of your profits. So if you have a job, you get if you're in employment, you get 80% of your wage, which is the money you get to take home. So you get 80% of that, which a lot of employers are filling up to 100. If you're self-employed, you have so for example, on my little sliding scale, I have all of my income, as in the money Bad Squiddo makes, all of my outgoings, my profit. So the profit, I then get 80% of that, but all the outgoings are still there. So like, how have they worked that out? That's mad. So I can only laugh about it because it's absolutely terrible. And oh yeah, that's kind of news. So sometimes people say that I worry too much or overthink or get way too much in my own head and into stuff when I should just not. But it can be a superpower because part of it is me trying to plan ahead. One of the reasons I'm still doing excellent is what's these little bits there? Coffee and hobby and swearing up a storm. Yes. Yeah, sorry, there's loads of messages about it. It's just gonna make for a boring coffee show, me talking business. But it's not just me, there's a whole bunch of us. We know what we're doing. I know I look like I don't know, some crazy floral thing, but I have been running a business for 5 years, and then I think 4 years on my other business. So I do know stuff, so it's okay. It's okay. Um, but yeah, to be planning ahead, I'm expecting we're obviously going to be in a recession. We might even be in a depression, and so I'm always in a depression. Um, and stuff's tight anyway. It's always been tight. I've mentioned this before. It's that hard where you've got to always project success. So people are like, yes, we sell 8 million models a day. I'm like, Bad Squiddo is a successful company, but I did start out of debt, and it's just me, and yeah. So it's kind of tough sort of day-to-day living anyway. I put all of my own money back into Squiddo, so I live a bit poorly. So things are tight anyway. So what I've decided to do, knowing that the government aren't really going to help any much more, is that this room I'm going to rent. So I'm actually excited. At first, I was like, no, this sucks. So this is my hobby room. It's got my clothes. I'm pointing around. It's got my clothes, all my hobby stuff, some Bad Squiddo stuff. It's my photography area, some books, paperwork. So it's kind of like my second, sorry, brain, like a second office. This area. So I'm in the tiny bedroom, and I moved here because this was the office, and then I got the other office because it's Ace. But then I was like, oh, I'm spending quite a lot, so I tried to make this an office to pay its way. But yeah, this office is going to be a bedroom. So all this stuff I need to find somewhere for it to live. So I'm just going to like get rid of more of my things to make the rest of the place like that. But I'm kind of excited about having someone else living in here, especially if we get especially when we get a second wave. If we have lockdown again, I won't be on my own. So I'm waiting for confirmation for the landlords, and then as soon as they do that, I've got to start clearing this room out and get myself a lodger. I have one lined up. Don't start applying to be my lodger. You don't want to live with me. I'm terrible. I just make noises at guinea pigs and hoover all the time. So yeah, that's kind of cool news in a way. It's a bit depressing, and like yeah, I've got to do it. But I am actually excited. The person who's moving in is cool, so hopefully that'll be a funny spaced type scenario. So yeah, I just got to figure out where to put all this stuff. So it means that I get to buy a cabin bed, which I've wanted for ages, forever. Always wanted a cabin bed. I think Mum's watching. Never had a cabin bed, so that was the worst childhood ever. The ones with the bed with the desk and then like a little wardrobe or drawers or something underneath it. It's like a bunk bed with a functional under. Yeah, and I've wanted one for ages. And I've obviously thought I'm grown up, so I should not. But now the bedroom that I've got, which I'm gonna have to move more things into, I'm gonna get a cabin bed, but not with the cool stuff underneath. So I can move my bed up, and then have all the spending. What am I reading? Spending all the this stuff. I think I can do it. So under my cabin bed, I can make a den. So I can just string up all the lights and have basically this setup, but under my bed. So I think that would be kind of cool. So that'll be fun. So the background of this will be a fun one. So yeah, I'm weirdly excited about building a cabin bed and doing that. Rati says disadvantage of cabin beds: check your ceiling height. Yeah, I need to check that as well. I think I'm going to be sleeping with it like there. I've kind of realised that the light bulb's kind of going to touch my toes or something, but I've just got to fit as much into the space that I've got. So the only other option, basically, I was looking at whether I could move. So I've just shuffled out the bed and I got 60. I can see like, gotta get out of bed. Yeah, I looked at moving. I looked at whether I could just get into a shared house or something like that. But the entire thing stopping that is my guinea pigs, which is kind of funny because they're not going anywhere. I was on the phone to somebody. I was on the phone to someone talking about finances earlier in the week and found myself saying, because, like the guinea pigs are all I've got left, really. I was like, oh, that's so sad. But also cool. Well, it's cool I've got my pigs. They are sometimes what keeps me going. So I can't move into a shared house with my pigs because even if someone was really understanding, it's a nightmare. They make so much noise. I've got a Hoover in the morning, evening. The washing machine's always on with their stuff. So I don't know why I hadn't considered the idea of actually moving someone in here rather than me move. So that's cool. It helped with the rent. Mean that I can have someone else here, but still have this nice house because I do like this house. I kind of lucked out with it. So yeah, that'd be cool. So there might be Annie and Lodger at some point. Yeah, sorry you've all got sunstroke. I hope you get better soon. Hey, Daniel says, I'm ordering some drawers from a retailer here. Yay! That's really cool. Sometimes people say, I don't know whether to order direct or from a retailer. I don't care. Anywhere you order from that has Bad Squiddo, that is a legitimate shop, it all helps me and it helps them. Obviously, the more they sell, the more they're going to buy off me. So it's all excellent. So I don't mind. Just buy them away. That is ace. You know how some people have pet cams? Can we get a lodger cam? I don't think that's ethical. The guinea pigs are the real lads. I saw that. I don't think we all want to move in with you. We're there for the pigs. I haven't told my prospective lodger that there's like, oh, maybe if I'm sad, you could clean my guinea. Might be watching, going, oh no, I don't want to move in anymore. Can you recommend a good additional gift for my daughter who is getting 2 guinea pigs for her birthday? Ah! Guinea pig. I would look at CNC cages, which is what mine are in. They're grids. So if you Google CNC guinea pigs, as in C and C, you get these grids that are like this side. They're storage grids. And it means that you can make a really cheap cage that can be as big or custom size as you want. And then you use corrugated plastic as the base. So they're a really cool way of getting a mega cool guinea pig cage. And they don't have to be enormous like mine. I'm just crazy. But you can get the big, tend to be bigger than commercial cages, which are usually too small. And yeah, so that's just a really cool way of building a thing. And then it's like a second hobby. Customizing it and doing cool things with it. So yeah, just do that. Also, what would be very good for pigs. Go on Etsy and look up guinea pig fleece houses, fleece tubes. That's dangerous. My guinea pigs all got MOTs yesterday, so they're happy. So yeah, I've had a very rubbish week of not achieving much, but still achieving some things. And then yesterday, I just had a really lovely day, just clearing around the house, getting some chores done, sort of looking around, trying to make things lodger proof. So it's kind of like I have to obviously have a massive clear out to get some more space, but just keep an eye out and be selling some hobby stuff. So just kind of doing that. I did a lot in the garden. All the guinea pigs had all their usual like care stuff. A couple of them had baths, which I'm the worst. They hate baths. They really don't like it. One was because Gregor's generally in a mess because he has bum problems, which you don't also want on a Sunday morning. So he had to have a wash, and Nini's hair was getting really long, so and she'd been weeing on the back of her hair, so she had a haircut and a bum wash. So that was actually weirdly fun yesterday. Just getting out and doing stuff that's not just staring at the void. So that was really nice. Yes, my minis make your posts some more popular ones on Twitter. Yeah, buy my stuff, get social media approval. Lodger proof, putting corner caps on units lest they bump their heads. Does that sort of we've had some quite strict interviews of right, this is what I require from a lodger, and then realised that I'm making them do all this, behave all in these manners. This is the rules. A bit like I hate to reference it because it's a terrible show, but a bit like the Big Bang Theory roommate agreement type thing. And then realised that I should probably adhere to some of the rules. So just sort of having a big clear out, trying to get myself on top of all the stuff. Yeah, sorry for putting off your Cocoa Pops. If I went into more detail about what happened yesterday, then you definitely wouldn't want any Cocoa Pops. So I mostly rambled about myself. Sorry, bad squid. Let's open some stuff. So I've got Edwin King. I don't know if you watch my videos. He works at Diplomatist Books. Diplomatist Books. And they sell secondhand books, so you should check them out. He occasionally tips me off when there's some cool books, and sometimes he just sends me books. So I've got unsolicited book in the mail, which made me really happy. This little memoirs book. And look, it's my horse and rider lady. Well, not the rider. She's leading it. Isn't that sweet? So thanks, Edwin. That really made me smile. So it's just some nice stories. Oh, I haven't had a proper look. Oh, it's got some more photos in it. Oh, damn it, camera. Neats likes me some more photos. The more books you can get hold of, you get so many more photos because it's like the same ones that do the rounds online. Oh man, yeah. I don't know how I managed to clip it. It's go, oh cool memoirs, but I didn't see that there were photos. I love it because the more photos I see, it makes me like validated that my minis are wicked because I can see my minis in them. Like, so yeah, cheers, Edwin. That is cool. Am I doing reading today? Cool. Yes, dwarves. My dwarves more popular than big crazy stuff. Here we go. Oh yeah, no more Homefront for a little bit. I'm kind of sick of seeing them. So I'm packing all these Kickstarts. I'm not really. Every time I pack an order, I just go, oh, they've picked my favourite one. Oh, they've picked my favourite one. Like, they're all my favourites. I can't wait to see them all done. Like once they've all been painted and I've got them all together to take some really good photos and seeing them on tables. It's gonna be so cool. I have here an unseen brand new packet from Bristol. As we know, I've not been having much luck with the autofocus on this, so we'll see. I've teased a couple of bits around on Twitter. I don't think I did on Facebook. This is the kit which will be out possibly next week. This is one of my favourite kits ever. And I know I say that about all my new ones, but let's try with this. Let's try to show you. So, nobody has seen this ever. Come on. It's because the camera's there. There you go. I'll focus on it. Why does it suck? Yeah, let's try it at the hand because I have more control. There we go. Focus on it. So they're little hedgehogs. Aren't they cute? Aren't they cute? I don't need loads of hedgehogs, you say. That's okay, because it's actually a mixed woodland pack. So, this is so cute. So we've also got little bun and some wood. You know, cute. It's all sculpted by Mr. Bristol. This bit's cool. We got. I'm on focus. There's a little snail. You can't quite see, and a lizard friend there. A tiny snail. They've been painted at the moment, so you should get painted pictures soon too. Jez is painting them for me. There's a badger! Some badgers poking out like a little wood there. Hello. Hedge pigs. We got some weasels. Some weasel there, and a little crawl, and it's like little bugs. Little bugingtons. It's so cute. I've got more of this sort of stuff coming too. And then one more. I think, is that the whole pack? I think that's the pack. I just grabbed some stuff off the table before I left. This is one I put on Twitter. It's a little fox coming out with Dan there. Oh. So imagine these with all the different colours on, so little word, lovely little mushroomies. They're so cute. And there is one snake. You could roll one and put one on. But how cool is that as a pack? So yeah, they'll be out if not next week, the week after probably. They're being cast, they're being painted. So these were the earlier. These were the test casts I've had for a while, and I haven't shown you them. I've been like, it's so cute. So I'm on a cute phase at the moment with these terrain bits. Yeah, I said I had the my undead phase because I was watching Walking Dead last year. Walking Dead, the Game of Thrones. It was Game of Thrones sort of finale time, and obviously there's all the Night King and all the undead. So I was in like this, yes, undead. So I was like, Restore, make undead things. Army of the Dead. When are they on your site? I will be. Yeah, just give it about a week, probably a bit more. Yay! Glad you all like them. It was looking like one of those hour-long Sunday morning coffees. I wasn't good on the last week's one. I wasn't good, and I was getting a bit stressed. But this one, I'm like, yay! And then the box. So this is just a customer has sent me something, and I don't know what it is. So there's a very on-brand box here. Oh, I want to do so many more little animals. What I was thinking, I've been wanting to do a forest pack for ages, but I didn't want to just do more little animals on their own because I know you're going to put them around, and it's almost that sort of, they're going to be put into scenics anyway. So to build the scene around them, a bit like some of the like spiders' nests and stuff, I think it's just a bit nice. The worst unboxing where you can't see anything. My word, I've got a letter too. Oh, thank you. It's from Devon and Kate. I don't know if they watch. I don't know if they watch the Sunday mornings. I don't know if they're seeing. I'll show you what they. Oh. Hey, Richard Coulson. They sent me a box. It's a box of tea from America. They've just sent me a variety. Oh, chocolatey chai. What's this? Tea, pumpkin spice, peppermint. Yeah, loads of tea. How cool is that? Yeah, and I don't know what this one is. Premium tea. Gooseberry punch. So thank you for the tea. That's ace. Did you notice the Whisperers and the We Can Do Flaming Zombie Siege too? That's why I got confused. I was watching the two lots, and it's quite similar. Especially when the Walking... I won't spoiler anything. I just did. When the Game of Thrones finale was on, there was an episode of Walking Dead, which was in winter with the frozen zombies. I was just like, these are the same, but I can never get enough zombies. I love it. So thank you, Devon and Kate. That's ace, and I'll send you a message too in case you're not seeing this, and I'll read the letter properly. But that's very nice. That's ace. And he gets gifts. So I tried to do. Well, it's not American tea. It's tea. American people have sent me tea. It seems to be not American tea. Yes, yesterday. It was a bit informal and not really advertised because I've been trying to kind of clear my schedule of things because I felt under pressure to entertain you all and do lots of different cool online stuff. but because my mood's been like just having like a weekend where I don't have to do anything, or just general evening when I've scheduled things for the evening, I've kind of thought, oh, why have I done this? So I didn't want to make a big deal of it. Oh, Sunday morning coffee is so like ingrained into my life now. It just doesn't feel like a thing. It's like, oh, it's 10 o'clock. Best do the stream. um, what's the word? Yes. So we had a while back at the start of lockdown. I started up Bad Squiddo Film Club. So we watched The Darkest Hour on Netflix, which was ace. So it's on. You have like on Netflix Party, you get a little chat bit, but it kind of excludes a load of people that don't know how to work the chat or stuff like that. So I was thinking of just doing it and setting up a different different chat or something. I don't know. So I wanted to do another one because we'd only had one, and I wanted to watch The Last Man on Earth because somebody mentioned it. It might have been somebody on Twitter. It's after I've been talking to North Star Nick about Omega Man. It could have been on this last week. So I wanted to watch Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price. I hadn't seen it. I found it on YouTube. So I said I might do this at 9 o'clock Saturday. It's my first yawn. But I didn't want to schedule anything or that sort of pressure. So about 9:15, I went, yeah, we'll watch it. So I kind of just posted it up, said there's no chat or anything. I'm just putting this on at 9. If you want to watch it at 9 too, it's a bit like we're watching it together. So I watched it with my peegs. Watched a bit with Gregor and a bit with Sponge last night. And I loved it. I loved it so much. So I'm interested. I might watch a Mega Man tonight if I can find it. I'll find it somewhere on any of the streamings. Yeah, The Last Man on Earth's on YouTube, the whole thing, as one video, which is ace. Yeah, I loved it. The zombie vampires were like, I don't know. I really liked his monologues. It reminded me of my sad existence at the moment. He's like, anger is a luxury I can't afford. Makes you lose focus. But yeah, he's just going about his day-to-day life, and it's narrated. It's so good. If you've not seen it, I think I'm probably the only person in the world that hadn't seen it. So yeah, it's on YouTube. You should watch it. So it's that Omega Man and I Am Legend are all based on the I Am Legend book. So I'm doing like a trilogy. Thanks for making me aware of Perfect Party. I was supposed to have a stag do, and obviously we couldn't, so we watched bad action films with Zoom Party too. That was cool. Yeah, Netflix Party, it's basically like this, but instead of my face, it's whatever film you're watching. So there's YouTube parties and stuff like that you can do too. It just means you're watching it exactly at the same time, and if you want to go, no way, as crazy stuff happens, you can. So we're doing that with Angeli, though we haven't for a while. If you're watching Angeli, we should find a thing and watch it. We tried watching the Kimmy Schmidt interactive, and you can't do that. We kept being a few seconds out of sync, and it was just a disaster. So we need to make a choice. No, my choice has ended. Oh no. Mystery Annie Theatre 2020. Yeah, I want to read the Iron Legend book because I liked the film, and then I saw that it got really bad ratings because people were saying it was way not like the book. So I thought, oh, well, if I like that, then I might like the book. Yeah, oh, if there's a loyal dog, then I can't watch because they might get hurt or killed. So, what else before I go? I should probably talk about some more Bad Squiddo stuff. Though, yeah, I love that film. I'm not quite sure what was going on with the zombie vampires. They're vampires that behave like zombies, and they could talk, but not much. The ending is grim, although apparently the ending to the book is grim, so that was good. It's just the end. It's like, and we're done. Like, oh. So yeah, I'm gonna watch some more. So I put a Mega Man on. If I do, I'll post in Baggy's Cave. That'll be later though. So I'm gonna do some stuff in the day. I don't know what I'm gonna do today. I might do a little bit of work and finish a little bit of those chores just to get that sort of done and have another chill day, I think, but try and be a bit active because that will help. Yeah, so Bad Squiddo, next week I will be finishing the Kickstart tours as much as possible on the off chance that I may run out of some metal. But I'll do an update on there too when I have. So there's a few people going, "Where's my Kickstart?" I'm like, "It's okay, it's okay, sorry." We are out of stock of loads of the Soviets, so if you've got an order with Soviets that has not dispatched yet, that is why. People that ordered loads of stuff, and there's a couple packs they don't have of part shipped. But yeah, so there should be more Soviets coming this week. What else do we have? I've got loads of crappy paperwork to do next week. And I'm still hoping to get some chance to do some briefs for the sculptors, to get some new stuff done. More Soviets. More Soviets are coming. And a few interesting in-betweeny packs too. I've also been trying to follow this goddamn parcel from where's it from? Poland, from Bristol. So I've got some new sculpts that keep bouncing around the UK depots at the moment. They better come on Monday. I said I'll kick off. Yes, Book of Eli. Yes, that's good. It's really strange. So I love all this post-apocalypse, abandoned world type movies and books, and it's just really been my thing. And now I'm living in it. It sucks. Well, the reality, because it's not quite as cool. It's not quite as cool as it is in the films. But we've not got that now anyway, because lockdown is basically over in the UK, even though we're all dying. But at the start of it, when people were actually following lockdown, and I was one of the few people still sort of going out to work, it was like everything quiet, and that's how I got in that discussion with Nick. Cause I said there's just like there's nobody around, but we're still having our day-to-day routines. So yeah, I go in, put my music on, pack my orders, and it's almost like outside there's all the zombies going, Morgan. So, yeah, I'm still like that because I just like that end of civilization thing, even now when it is actually happening. Anything else for you? Sure there was any sort of. Seeing as Richard's missed it, I won't go through them again, but I'll show him one that he might have missed there. The hedgehogs, Richard. I'll put you down for a pack. Oh yeah, so yeah, don't lockdown isn't over. Please stay at home. So yeah, again, just very briefly, the UK is kind of really splitting into Wales, Scotland, and England, and Wales and Scotland are a lot more closed. England's basically said, do what you want, but please don't do what you want, because it's not good. So I'm still not socialising. I've been meeting Angeli in the park from a distance. It's pretty much the only person I've seen during all this. So we just feed the ducks from afar and go, hey. But I don't think I'm going to do any of the other things that they said you can do, because I don't trust it. I think it's too soon. So I'm still not seeing people, which is a bit tough. And I think that's kind of what was tough this week, because I started realizing that I haven't had a proper like face-to-face long conversation with people for some time, and it's that whole like you get stuck in your own brain, and then you'll have a bit of a what's it? You just get a bit silly because you got your stupid voice inside that's like telling you the worst, and then you meet up with your friends, and you go, "Oh, I'm not the worst. What was I on about? That's silly." But because that's not there, it's just like do do do. But I'm trying really hard to just keep working. It's like keep training the old brain, and yeah, trying to just get everything plan and I'm trying to plan and structure at the same time. Yeah, lockdown's definitely not over, but that's kind of what the country I think is about to do. Well, not do. You know what I mean. Anyone that's in the UK will know what I mean. They're basically speeches are going, you should not do the things, but do the things. Whatever. Horse racing and is back on. That's woo, great. That's what we need right now. We don't know. Angeli applied for a test months ago because she had symptoms but wasn't sure if it was just general poorly. But she hasn't had her test through. Because you know how there's a million tests going out every day and stuff. She's still waiting on her test from that long ago, so she doesn't know. I don't know. I could have had it in symptomless, but I'm treating it as if I haven't, and I'm potentially infectious. And Angeli's got a dodgy immune system, so I don't want to risk it because it's like with Mum. I think Mum's still watching. And Mum keeps saying, "Oh, I want to come up." Like, it's on me if anything happens, and I just don't want to risk it for stuff that's not essential. So, cool. Right, I believe. Nothing else cool. Sure, it's something else cool, but no, I'm gonna chill around. Oh yeah, my hands are bust too. So I got bad wrists from making dice bags, and they're really bad this week, like really bad. So I've been trying to not computer very much. Well, to use my phone. So I can type. Typing's not too bad on the laptop, but on my phone it's really sore. So if there's a message out of hours or anything like that, I'm less likely to reply because of my hand. Like, that's pretty much. They've been shaking a lot, and I think part of it, this is quite embarrassing, is because of playing Animal Crossing. So I'm trying to cut down the Animal Crossing, but it's all I got. Yeah, it's like I said about the dude that was kind of like, "Yeah, you're breaking the rules," and it's like, it's an old picture. We were very quick to judge each other, and I know there's loads of nuanced things, but yeah, me personally, I'm just a bit like more on the side of caution, just because it's more my fear of not wanting to accidentally kill anyone. Because that's the worst way to accidentally kill anyone. I'd like it to at least be like I trip over with my coffee and then somehow bludgeon them with the mug. Why did it get dark? Oh, Tesco did not have any beer on Saturday. That was a disgrace. That's it. No more minis, promotional resins, upcoming new stuff. We've got no more lady minis at the moment. I do realise I've been posting a lot about terrain. Got no lady minis coming up imminently, but it's because I've been sorting out all the Kickstarter. But there is going to be stuff. So there's going to be the big load of Soviets later in the year, but there's going to be a few bits and bobs before that, and there might be a bit and bob, which is a teaser, a sample of what will be coming next year. How about that? So yeah, loads of cool stuff. Yeah, neat. It's been nearly an hour, but I've really enjoyed this one. Thanks for coming along. Really appreciate it. If you haven't done the like and subscribe, it does make a big difference. If you if you like the channel, not like the things handy too, but you subscribe and then there's a little bell icon and that sends you a message when I'm doing stuff. So yeah, I'll do a little video of these in my look inside pack ready for release as well. Might do that a bit this afternoon. Just to show them off in better detail because they're so cute. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for being ace. You've all been very ace this week. Apologise, some of my tweets have been a bit grumbly, and I thought, oh god, no one wants to follow me because it's just rubbish. But yeah, I appreciate it, and yeah, I don't have much any human contact, so that's good. So thank you. If you don't follow me on all of the things, on all of the Twitters, the Facebooks, the Instagram, get on that, and yeah, see you around, and see you here next Sunday at 10 o'clock, where another week will have passed. Who knows what the date is anymore? Who knows? Right, thank you. Really, really, really appreciate it. And all your lovely messages. You are the best. And yes, goodbye. And find out how to click the button. Goodbye. Thank you. Have lovely Sundays.